Okay. It is 6:42, November 4th, Thursday. I want to welcome everyone to the finance meeting. I actually am down here at City Hall. I'm all alone. I miss my colleagues, so hopefully soon we'll be able to meet either hopefully in person, half in person, half Zooming. Hopefully that'll be the case. So I will ask everyone, I have the flag behind me, to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Council Member Gully, have you joined us yet?
Well, you see me on the screen, don't you?
I can only see 4 people. Unfortunately,
Oh,
4
I'm
people
here.
at a time.
I'm here.
So Council Member, please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Council Member Gully. Okay. Roll call, Council Member Gully.
Still here.
If folks could maybe mute their, if they're not speaking. Thank you. Council Member Gully is here. Council Member Ash McPherson.
Here.
Council Member Steele.
Present.
Council Member Cummings.
Present.
Thank you. Council Member Zaluski.
Here.
Hi. Council Member McDermott.
Here.
Hello, Council Member McDermott. I just left your boss. Also joining us this evening, we have Mayor Madden. I apologize, I'm only seeing 4 on screen at once. We have Mara, our clerk, of course, and Andy Petrosky, our comptroller. And we have Steve Strikeman, who is our planning commissioner and economic development commissioner, who will be talking about one of the resolutions this evening. I will now ask for a motion to approve the prior Finance Committee meeting minutes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes as transcribed.
Thank you. Council Member Zaluski motions. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Council Member Ash McPherson. Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Presentation of the agenda. We have 2 resolutions. Steve Strikeman is going to fill us in on Resolution 85. If both are approved, they'll go right to the regular meeting this evening. Additionally, I want to mention our Corporation Council has said
He's frozen, is that correct? Yeah. Carmela, you are
hello?
freezing. You are freezing, yes. I mean, not temperature-wise,
Okay.
but video-wise.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, the service. Yeah. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. The service in here is not too good. Okay, public forum. Mara, are the 2 folks for the regular or the finance?
Just one of those people wanted to speak. It was Eric Wisher, but he has not logged in.
Okay. We'll move along. No local laws, no ordinances. Resolution 85, resolution supporting and endorsing the city's application for a grant to fund construction of a municipally owned district geothermal utility system. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, we do have to make a slight amendment of the resolution. But we'll take a motion, and is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Council Member Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Council Member Gully. On the discussion, why don't you fill us in, Steve, and then we'll amend the resolution appropriately.
Okay, so this basically is a grant application to NYSERDA to help fund the construction of a district geothermal facility. We have been looking for quite some time with all the potential development along the river, south of the Congress Street Bridge and in the monument. All
We're
right,
getting feedback. Can everyone mute, please?
all right. Is that better? Not better. So when I start talking now, is that better or is that bad still?
Oh, you're good.
Okay, so we have been looking at for quite some time at the creation of a district geothermal heating system with all the potential development in Troy along the riverfront, south of the Congress Street Bridge and in the Monument Square area. So we actually applied for a grant last year to do a feasibility study to create this district, and Siemens and Gulf Harbor actually have been doing a feasibility study and determined that it's possible to create this district geothermal system in Riverfront Park, and that would supply not only Monument Square but other developments that occur in the area. The district geothermal basically takes heat out of the ground in the winter to supply heat to buildings, and in the summer it dumps heat from the buildings into the ground. So it's a clean, environmentally clean way to provide energy, and it's in compliance with the state's Climate Leadership and Community Action, Community Protection Act, and it provides benefits not only to it provides benefits basically to businesses that are located along this district to give them cheaper energy, cleaner energy, and it's a potential way to generate revenue for the city. So with the feasibility study complete that says this can work, we're now applying for money to help fund this grant, help fund this, and that's what this resolution basically is in support of right now. Is basically it's for an application that's due on the 15th of November. So I don't know if I've got a dog climbing over my lap. I hope I covered everything there without getting distracted. But so basically we're applying for up to $3.5 million in construction for this. It will definitely have to come back to the city council if we are awarded the grant to discuss how to fund it or not, but it would be a neutral financial it's not something that would end up costing the city over time. It would be to invest in it, and then we would generate revenue back, and it might be with a local development corporation instead. We're still looking into potentially how to structure this deal. But right now it's just a grant application that we're looking for support for.
And Steve, what is it, an 80-20 match?
I believe it's
Hello? Oh, sorry.
am I still not? I believe it's a 50-50 match, but any funds that would go into it would be either covered by the sale of energy, either through the LDC or through the city. So it wouldn't cost any money in the long run. And again, you'll have a second bite at the apple if the grant is approved.
Okay.
Council President.
Sure.
Yep, Councilmember Cummings.
Really excited to see this moving forward. I guess first, I assume it doesn't, but I wanted to check. Getting the grant doesn't limit what we can charge, or in short, it doesn't require any of the revenue from sale of the energy go back to NYSERDA or anything, does it?
No, it doesn't. Nothing would go back to NYSERDA. It would be to fund construction. And again, it may be the city that's doing that. It might be the local development corporation. We're still looking. There's a couple issues that we're looking at as far as legally structuring this and how to make it work. But that's going to go in parallel with the grant application to make sure we're on good footing with whatever we do.
Are there models? How do you meter or bill for heat load essentially.
Well, that would be done based on the usage. There's a flow through the pipes of liquid, so it would be basically charged based on the flow of the cooling or heating liquids.
Great. I guess the only thing I'll recommend is that you apply to the PSC as soon as possible on that, because I think it'll probably take a long time given what we've seen from them. And then the other thing I'll just state, I think this is a really good pilot for use of this technology for commercial areas, which is a big priority for us, certainly. I think it would also be awesome to have a pilot down the road for residential as well. I think that'll be a different kind of structure. But eventually we're going to need all of our heating load across the city to be electrified. And piloting
Will
this
I have
commercial
better reception? Okay.
is helpful. And then piloting.
President, can you please mute yourself?
Awesome. Oh, awesome. Or should I go on to the
Piloting this with commercial, and then piloting something else for residential uses, I think would also obviously be helpful in the future. I think I've talked to Steve in the past about that, but particularly I think there's an interesting opportunity right now when National Grid is investing so heavily in redoing natural gas lines, to look at a neighborhood where they're about to put millions of dollars into natural gas lines and look at whether we can partner with them on instead converting a neighborhood to a geothermal system. None of that to detract from this. This is incredibly important and helpful work, which I commend you and your staff for moving forward.
I believe I'm seeing a hand on Rick Morrissey.
It's me, Steve.
okay, Rick.
May I be recognized?
Absolutely. Council, Corporation Council, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. I think Steve's touched on these items, but there are some amendments that we've asked you to consider. In fact, I actually redrafted the resolution at one point, but there aren't that many changes. But there are two things or three things. One is that legally it hasn't been determined who might own the geothermal system. Okay, so it could be, as Steve mentioned, it could be the LDC or it could be the city of Troy, and we haven't quite figured out the legalities of that yet. Secondly, this is only an application for the grant. If the grant is awarded to the city, the council will have to be called upon to accept it by resolution. And at that point, there will be a match requirement, and you will decide whether or not that it's worth accepting in that case. So this is simply the application for the grant itself. The grant will come with a match requirement, but the council will have what Steve said was another bite at the apple to accept it or not, depending upon how much the city would be obligated for instance.
And that is super important. I agree, Rick, because it's a great opportunity. At the same time, the match, et cetera, who will own what. There are two amendments that Steve and Rick, and thank you so much, Rick, for looking at this. The first one, Mara put it in the chat. We're going to remove municipally owned district from the title. And then number two, we're going to change paragraph 5 to say, and thereby providing a new income stream for the city. So you'll see the two in the chat, and if there's other questions, I mean, Steve, I apologize. I am on the internet now, so I think I have much better reception. Andy Amara came in and hooked me up. Is this similar to what is over by Proctor's? And I apologize, it's paragraph 4, not paragraph 5.
Well,
Um,
it's similar in that it's a district system, but the Proctor system is natural gas fired. So this would be a clean energy source using the heat and the cooling of the ground. But it would be, and again, that one is owned by Proctor's with license for the city to run across different portions of, streets and licenses, agreements with off-takers. So this would be, this again, it's a clean energy. It's not using natural gas.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I would just say that what's really exciting about this is we are really way ahead, with the exception of Ithaca, across New York State. We are way ahead of the pack in trying to make this happen.
Cool. Are we applying to NYSERDA? Or is this, hold on
Yeah.
once. I
Yes,
think so.
it's a NYSERDA grant. The $100,000 feasibility study was the $100,000 grant that Siemens and CHA used that lined us up to get this one. So now we're an applicant along with them.
Sounds good. Okay, further questions, discussion?
Chair,
Yes,
President.
Councilmember Gully, then Councilmember Ash McPherson, and then Councilmember Cummings, since Councilmember Ash McPherson hasn't spoken yet. Councilmember Gully.
I truly like the idea of using a geothermal system. I don't know how well it's been proven to work in a large capacity like that. I don't know if anyone's ever done that, but I like being on the forefront of ideas like that. And I think it's a benefit for the city to try to see what we can do. Let's put the numbers out there, go for the grant, see what the options are. But we have to move forward at some time, and we need to keep pushing towards this modern technology and find out what works for us. I do have a question though, Steve. It's going to go along the riverfront. How does that work with all the work we're doing, like around One Monument Square and the park area? How does that affect that at all?
So believe me, it's complex because there's a lot of coordination between Monument Square, between the Riverfront Park work that we want to do. So we're coordinating all these together to ensure that we're not building something and then ripping it up again. So the first off-taker would be Monument Square, but there are other users that have expressed interest in this, between the Art Center, the American Theater, David Bryce's properties. So there's a lot of other properties that will be able to use this. And it is a proven technology. It's usually a lot cleaner. Usually it's like Skidmore College, where they own all the property, has put in geothermal systems that supply heat and cooling to a number of buildings. So it's not like we're going in and being the first people to do this. We're just being the first people to do this on a municipal level.
Nice. And the $3.5 million grant, I mean, we all know in municipal work, sometimes 3.5 doesn't buy you much. Do we have any ideas of what the cost of that completed system to really be efficient and return a revenue, what that might cost?
Well, so what we're estimating, I mean, it's 50% match, is that it would probably be about that much again, but with Monument Square as the off-taker, we have enough studies to believe that would be a net neutral. They would use enough of this system that we would break even, and then as we bring other users online, it would start generating revenue.
Great, thank you. I look forward to seeing if we get the grant.
Thank you.
Councilmember Ash McPherson, and then Councilmember Cummings.
I didn't have a question. I'm fine.
Okay, cool. Councilmember Cummings.
Thank you. Let's see, a couple follow-up questions. First, with the feasibility study, did they end up looking at the feasibility of using the river as a heat or cooling sink, or only the ground?
They have looked at that. We feel that the permitting will be pretty hard So what that would be you wouldn't be taking water or placing water into the river, but you would have a pipe
coil.
running through the river, probably under the docks. I think you gotta take your speaker off, Councilman Cummings. We have looked at it and they're continuing to look at that, but we feel that that's going to be a complicated permitting process. We're certainly going to continue to try, and we have some ongoing discussions there.
Great. Second question, is the Taylor project included as a potential off-taker in this project or a future project?
That is in phase, as we call it, 1B. So there's two sections. There is this one here in the Monument Square area where we know we have an immediate off-taker and the land. And then 1B would be all of Taylor, although we don't know if we're going to be able to be done in time for 1A or for the Taylor, the redevelopment that's before the Planning Commission right now. So they will certainly install HVAC systems that will be able to tap into it in future years. But the intent is to be able to make this available to Taylor 3, Taylor 4, and any other land that gets redeveloped in that area south to the Posting Hill. And then eventually to the library, to the county, and hopefully to residential properties, although the conversion of residential properties is difficult because it's so expensive to be able to, convert a steam system to a geothermal system. It's an expensive cost for the property owners for small units.
Great. I don't think we actually made the amendment, and I think I wanted to just clarify that it looks like we're striking both of those things, both municipally owned district and the quote, and thereby providing a new income stream to the city in paragraph 4.
Correct.
Yes,
All right.
Should I make that motion officially just so we can get that over with, or?
Well, let's continue discussion if anyone has any further questions. Questions? Discussion? Okay. We have a motion on the floor to amend per what Mara has put in the chat. And it has been read out loud. Is there a second on the amendment? Was that you, Councilmember Zaluski?
Yes.
Thank you. Not seeing everyone, it's a little tough. There is a motion, a second on the amendment, discussion on the amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, on the amended resolution, is there a motion?
Make a motion?
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Oh, that was a tie. Second, Councilmember Cummings, I think. Discussion. All in favor?
Sure. Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 85 carries. Resolution 88, a resolution to proclaim November 2021 as Epilepsy Awareness Month. We have Council President Mantello, Councilmember McDermott, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Zaluski. Is there a motion?
To make a motion?
Thank you. Councilmember Cummings motions. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, I think just by a hair, Councilmember Ash McPherson. I'll read the resolution at the regular meeting. Discussion.
Council
All in
President,
favor?
Council
Yes,
President,
Councilmember.
just for the record, that
Council-
wasn't just for the record, that wasn't Councilman Gully, that was Councilman Zaluski.
Okay.
They
It's so
both have,
hard.
They look alike.
they both have bald heads. Could I just also be added to this, please, as a sponsor?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Councilmember Steele is added, and I apologize, Councilmember Zaluski seconds. Please bear with me. I can only see 4 people at a time. And so hearing voices, you blend Councilmember Gully and Zaluski. Sorry. further discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? All right, resolution 88 carries 7-0. These resos will be added to the regular meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn from the finance?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion on the motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, finance is adjourned 7-0. We'll go into the regular, but we'll wait a second as soon as Mara tells us we're okay.
I appreciate that because I'm shuffling papers around. We are good to go. You can get started.
Awesome, awesome. How about Councilmember McDermott? Please lead us in the pledge. We are opening the regular meeting. It's 7:06, not too bad. I have the flag behind me, which we can use. Councilmember McDermott.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember McDermott. Mara,
You're
roll
welcome.
call.
Councilmember Gully,
Here.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Here.
Councilmember Steele,
Still present.
Councilmember Cummings,
Present?
Councilmember Zaluski,
Here.
Councilmember McDermott,
Here,
Council President Mantello.
I'm here.
7 present, none absent.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve the October regular meeting minutes.
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes as transcribed.
Thank you. Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Motion carries 7-0.
Beautiful presentation of the agenda. We just had a finance meeting. We added resolution 85 and resolution 88. Pretty light agenda, so be ready, folks. We're going to have a packed one in December. Quickly, the vacancy list is at the end of the agenda, and we do have 2 folks who signed up for the public forum. I'm not sure if they're with us. Mara?
Yeah, Eric Wisher is here. I'm going to move him over so he can speak.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Ash McPherson.
I do have a couple questions on the vacancy list, so just so you know.
Okay, I do know that Monica is at the meeting that I just left. So if the mayor or Andy cannot answer your questions, we'll make sure that Monica gets back to you. So before we go into the public forum, why don't you ask your questions, please?
Who's here to answer, Andy or, okay, Andy, you gonna answer my questions?
I'm gonna
So I
try.
just want to ask you, on the fire department, we have 12 firefighter paramedics vacancies. Do we have a list coming up? Do we have, or I'm sorry, a test coming up or anything?
I can get back to you about that question.
To our knowledge, there's no test scheduled at this time.
There is no test schedule at this
No,
time.
we do have a list. We have a limited number of qualified individuals on the list. I don't know how far into the list we are or when a new one might be scheduled.
Okay. The next question I have is under the police. We have 7 police officers that are vacant as well. Do we have a test coming up for that?
No, we have an active list that we're working on. We will be, the next academy begins in January. So it doesn't make sense to fill those vacancies before we're ready to put them into the academy. So immediately prior to the academy beginning, we will probably have close to 7 individuals that we will make offers to.
Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah, is that clear?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, thank you. And the other question I have is on the general services on streets. There's 3 positions on the light operator and 2 laborers. Are they already factored into the budget, or are these what they're looking at in the budget to add?
No, those are additional vacancies in the streets department. And I can tell you that they have hired 2 of the 2 laborers that are vacant. They've filled those positions Monday, I believe. I know they
So-
filled them this week.
So we don't have, so this list, the vacancy list for November, the laborers are 0 actually, because they were filled.
Correct. They just filled them this week.
Okay. And I think I'm okay right now. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Andy. And yeah, the positions that are proposed won't be in until obviously if the budget's approved with those positions.
Council President,
Yes,
just a follow-up question.
Councilmember
on-
Salewski. Yep.
Yeah, and a follow-up question on what Councilmember Ash McPherson was asking. Mayor, the 6 police officers that we hired for community policing, those are not the same as what you were just talking about with vacancies, right? They're already in the academy, is that correct?
When we hire officers, we don't earmark them for community policing. Community policing is a position that's bid within the department. So as individuals come on, we will open up the bid and include filling of those positions.
Okay, that's not clear to me. So I thought that we were moving forward more quickly with getting the 6 community police officers up and running. I'm just trying to understand, like, the vacancies that Councilperson Ash McPherson just talked about in the police department. Are they this? They're not the vacancies they're not the same positions that we filled with our legislation from several months ago, correct?
Well, keep in mind, we can only add police officers twice a year. There's only 2 academies a year offered, one in January, one in July. So when you authorized 6 additional positions that we would dedicate to community policing, we dedicated positions, not individuals. We filled as many of those open positions that we had at that time. Those individuals are going through the academy now. When they come out and we add those individuals to our force, we will be able to open the bid for positions within the community policing unit.
Okay, so I think the answer to my question is that they are already in the academy, which is kind of how I opened that up. They're not the same as the ones we just talked about that are going to go into the academy in January.
Well, yeah, not exactly. Again, we don't peg hires for specific positions. We fill those positions when people bid through the normal bidding process.
Right.
It's a little confusing. I understand that, but so no, I can't say that those individuals in the academy now will be community police officers when they come out.
Right. No, that's not what I'm asking. Yeah, I was just asking about the slots, the actual slots themselves. That's all.
and our corporation counsel has raised his hand. Hello, Rick. You're getting fancy on us, I'll tell you.
I just, maybe I'll try to shed some light on it. I think what you did when you approved the new positions was increase the authorized strength of the department. And by increasing the authorized strength, you allowed us to, or the chief, to create these new positions in community police. But we still need the bodies to fill them. And we, and we still have to, we do have our minimum manning obligations in patrol. So as the new officers come on, I think the mayor was saying the new positions in community police will go up for bid, but it doesn't all happen at once. Is that helpful at all?
Somewhat.
Council President?
Councilmember Cummings.
So just to be clear, there are now 6 vacancies. There will be 4 to 6 people in the academy next year. That's always been the case, that there's some number of turnover and some number of people in the academy. I think when we authorized those additional positions, the idea was that they would take some precedence, not over minimum manning necessarily, but that they would be prioritized and appointed as soon as possible. Is that still the goal and the point here, or is it likely that as long as we have at least 6 people in the academy, those will be the 6 positions that don't get filled?
I don't think I'm hearing that, but I'll allow the mayor and Rick to respond.
Yeah, I think, as Rick alluded to, we have minimum manning requirements. We have to fill those positions first. Once those positions are filled, we can put people into the Community Services Bureau. We can usually hit our minimum manning without, even with 6 vacancies. Minimum manning is a day-to-day thing. It's not it's actually a shift to shift. Do you have X number of people on any given shift? And our priority is to put as many people into the Community Services Bureau as quickly as we possibly can. It will always take a secondary position to meeting our minimum manning requirements. But as quickly as we have people available to put in there, we will be doing that.
Do the community police officers as appointed not count towards the minimum manning? Or
They do not.
can? Even if they
do not.
I thought they could theoretically get scheduled on a beat and count towards it, even if they're appointed to the community bureau. Sure.
That's not my understanding, but I'd defer to Rick if he knows that section of the contract.
I can't say that I'm 100%, but it is also my understanding that they do not count towards minimum manning.
And
Minimum
they cannot
manning-
be, if you're appointed, if you've bid for and gotten the Community Services Bureau appointment, you can't be scheduled as part of minimum manning.
That's my understanding. I hope I'm not wrong.
Right. Well, we can get our this is all sort of prelude to our public safety committee meeting next week on my birthday. So if you could get me that for a birthday present, that would be helpful.
Absolutely, Councilman. I couldn't think of a better gift.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Are there further questions regarding the vacancy list? Okay, let's move along. Public forum. Mara, I believe we have Eric Wisher coming in.
I'm trying to promote him to panelist, and for some reason it doesn't seem to be working. I don't know if Anasha or Ken wants to try and...
I tried. I think it worked.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Awesome. Hello, Eric. How are you? Eric? Eric, you're on mute. Hello, your video is not on, but you are on.
Now you can see me?
Hold on. I can see you. Wonderful. I'm using my iPhone, so bear with me. It's
Okay.
wonderful that you're joining us. Take it away, please.
It's nice to see you in the council chambers. I wish we
I
were all
know.
there.
I'm alone. I know.
But just to add to Nash's question about the community police, if you had made those minimum manning spots, it would be filled every day. But because they're not minimum manning, they don't take priority. Just like in our place, there's 12 vacancies. 12 vacancies right now. The minimum manning gets filled by guys on overtime. So we're going to have a rebid with 12 vacancies. The odds are there's going to be 4 vacant positions on Medic 4 and 8 vacant positions on Medic 2. those would have to be filled with overtime every day. Because they're part of the minimum manning.
Yeah, and before Eric speaks, I did just contact full disclosure, my nephew to ask that question. I figured he was head of PVA, he would know they are not counted toward minimum manning. So thank you.
Correct.
Okay,
Just
take it
a
away.
little update since the last time I spoke. We had a fire up on Engine 2's district. Engine 2 was off duty. Medic 2 was on an EMS call. It was an evening time fire. Engine 4 from North Street was the first arriving engine to put water on the fire. That's a long delay, especially when a fire doubles in size every 15 to 30 seconds. Thank God it wasn't the middle of the night. They're resident with college kids. Might be a different story at 3 a.m. than 5 p.m. We had a police officer pull up on the apron of headquarters approximately a month or so ago who didn't feel well. To the guys that were working, he failed the look test. They were checking him out. We had no ambulances. They called the sergeant. He went to the hospital by police car. We just had a call at the post office. Nobody would do mutual aid with the city. And Medic 2 was at the hospital with a patient on the gurney. They had to ask to turn the patient over so they could get out of there to go to the post office to do a call. This is a ongoing problem. It seems to be getting worse. As the weather changes, my prediction is it's going to get much worse. It needs to be addressed. Something needs to be done before we get into the heart of winter here and things get much worse. Calls have gone up every month. It's 1,159 for October. It was 1,140 for September. It was, don't quote me on this one, but I think it was like 950 for August. So they're going up month after month. Things we have this year that we didn't have last year. We have college kids on campus. We have schools in session. We have people in their offices. There's an increase for calls. Our daytime and college population has increased over last year. So calls are definitely go up. Something needs to be done sooner than later on this, we hope. And, we're just keeping you apprised. There's 12 vacancies. The mayor was talking about people on the list. There's 6 certified paramedics on the list. There's a few guys in school, but they won't be done until January or June. And the next scheduled state exam is not until April. So those are all issues. Adding another problem to the mix, Governor Hochul passed a order where paramedics can now work in hospitals in the ER. Albany Med is doing it. They're paying much more than a fireman paramedic makes. So you're going to draw people out of the pool of paramedics to work in ERs because they're going to make more money there and not have to risk their lives going into a burning building. But something preferably needs to be done sooner than later. I don't know what they do in the meantime, if they can only hire 6 people and they have to wait for the next exam in April. But things are at a crisis situation here, in our opinion, and people's lives are in jeopardy. On a happier note, Chris Ryan reached out to me. He had a gentleman in his bar Friday that collapsed and went into cardiac arrest. There was a nurse and doctor there. Our guys come in. They shocked him a few times. He was a cardiac arrest reversal. He's from what I've heard, he's been up and talking, and that's a good thing. And thank God we had an ambulance available to get him to the hospital. So kudos to those guys and the people that were in the bar that helped. And unless somebody has a question for me, I'm all set.
Council President. You're on mute.
Thank you. Yes, Councilmember Gully. And I do want to say, obviously, our public safety budget meetings coming up. We definitely, obviously, need to discuss this issue. Councilmember Gully.
Eric, has there been any discussion between the chief and the administration on this problem? And is there anything that anybody has put up as a solution? Because I know we've heard the problem numerous times. Are there any ideas for a solution, and has that been discussed with the administration or the chief?
We filed a safety grievance on it. There's a clause in our contract that the number of rigs manning, the amount of calls, we can request a meeting to discuss these issues. We had 2 meetings with Chief McMahon and Rick Morrissey, and there was no offer made on anything. There was discussions prior to that to maybe put some daytime staffing on, but without it being mandatory, we're having trouble getting guys to work overtime now, especially with a slew of vacancies. And, as of the end of June, there was 31 fires in the city. 26 of them were after 8 o'clock at night. Our feeling is we definitely are doing more calls ambulance wise, but we'd like to be safe when there's a fire and make sure that our engine and ladder truck are on duty. And that's the important thing to us. And that would constitute having minimum manning around the clock for the position to keep those on duty. And, so I made an offer to the chief that I said I would take back to the membership. It was to do daytime staffing for 6 months to a year with a 4th ambulance that we would still jump with. And then at the date, whatever we picked, 6 months or a year, it would convert to minimum manning around the clock. And that would give the city time to pay off the MAC bond, get the extra money out of the MAC Corporation, to hire all the paramedics they could off this list, have another exam, hopefully get more paramedics, have 2 recruit classes and get people online and be geared up for when it converted to minimum manning. And we thought that was a good idea. And we didn't get an answer back on that. So hopefully something happens sooner than later.
So was that the only solution presented, or were there any other ideas or concept that you or the administration came up with to maybe conquer this problem?
There's nothing else that we've come up with or that the city has approached us with.
Councilmember Gully, one of the things that we've talked about, once again, short-term, long-term. I do believe that the chief, Eric, the mayor, however, we can intervene. I think the proposal by the fire department, Eric and folks, has to be looked at, but at the same time, the model that's used, the present model and the staffing. And so we've talked about short-term, long-term, and really looking at how can we immediately ensure that nothing horrific does happen, as Eric mentioned, and keep everyone safe. And obviously, we've been fortunate thus far, and I knock on wood. But we can't keep, obviously, running the city in that direction. So the mayor, the chief, Eric, I do hope the immediacy that the proposal or even a modified proposal of what you proposed is looked at. And then obviously the model that's being used in terms of our ambulance run and our fire department and EMT, it's changed over 25, 30 years since the city run ambulance was put in place. So I think that needs to be looked at, and obviously our staffing as a whole. So,
Council President?
Yes, Councilmember Cummings.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Can you clarify just briefly your proposal? You went through that a little bit quick, and maybe you can just send it to me or otherwise, but you said the proposal was for the first 6 months to do daytime staffing?
6 months to a year. The chief felt that daytime was busier, and it's busy around the clock. But
So when you say daytime staffing, are you saying you're shifting some staff from night to day, or that you're increasing staffing during the day using overtime?
To fix the short-term problem would be to add 2 staffing during the day and a 4th ambulance that would still jump. And at some point, convert that to minimum manning so that guys could be forced in. That's the problem we have now. We're going through and guys are being forced into work because they're burnt out on their regular day. They don't want to come in and do another day, you know what I mean? So to guarantee that we get the staffing, we said we would wait until that time, pick a date, 6 months to a year, but at some point it has to convert. It gives the city time to get their finances in order, a couple academies, hopefully fill the vacancies and move forward from there.
And, I'm not being rude, but I am going to say we need to flush this through. We will, our PS, Councilmember McDermott is what, a week from Tuesday?
I believe it's this coming Tuesday.
Oh, okay, good. I thought sanitation was next week. Okay. You are correct. So Tuesday night, Tuesday at 6 o'clock on the night. But clearly, some things need to be changed.
Yeah. Okay, so that's very helpful. Thank you, Eric. I guess it sounds like the challenge of just finding recruits is big in here. Like even if we added to the number of staff that was approved, it sounds like it would still take a year or two before we'd get up to the level that we need. Are there other things that you've seen that might help? Are there other tactics that might increase those numbers or that might change that?
Yeah, that was the clearest plan that we thought was the safest at the time. We're late to the game hiring this year. The other cities have hired back in the end of July and August. Utica's academy already started. Montour Falls has already started. We lost a guy or two off our list that were paramedics. One went to Schenectady, one went to another city. So, when we're late to the game, people are taking the first opportunity that's afforded to them, and that's where they're going. So, but, ultimately we think the list should go back to hiring EMTs and the city sending them to paramedic school. It broadens the pool of people you can hire. And, I know there's some expense there to the city, but what they've saved the last 8 years they've been doing it, they're going to spend way more of that in overtime now because they can't get paramedics.
Okay. Well, this isn't obviously going to get decided this evening, but Eric, clearly, we're concerned and we need to act and we need to do together. So, thank you.
I did have one.
Council member, I'm seriously, I'm going to ask you, can you please contact Eric on the side? And Tuesday night, we need to go through this issue, like dig deep, roll up our sleeves and really get into this issue. Okay.
Council member Cummins, if you want to give me a call tomorrow, I'd be available all day. If you want to talk or meet or just talk on the phone, that's fine.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much. Talk
All right.
soon.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yep. Thank you. Be safe.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, continuing with the public forum section of the council meeting, Mara has our second attendee joined us.
The second person didn't want to speak. She just was going to watch, but she's not logged in anyway. She's the one who wrote earlier to say that she was in support of the change on Washington Street.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. All right, let's go right in to the agenda, folks. No local laws. We have Ordinance 88. Ordinance 88, Mara.
Ordinance amending the 2021 garbage fund budget to accept funds from the United States Department of Agriculture Natural Resources Conservation Service for funding related to the City of Troy's Environmental Stewardship Initiative. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. I got that one right. Thank you. We have a motion, we have a second, and just for folks who are watching, all of these did pass a prior finance meeting and were discussed at length. Is there any other concerns, questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance 88 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Ordinance 89.
Ordinance declaring certain city-owned personal property as surplus and directing the office of the city comptroller to dispose of the surplus property. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion?
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
Second.
second,
Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance 89 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Ordinance 90.
Ordinance transferring funds within the 2021 Water Fund budget. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion?
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
second,
Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance 90 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 83.
Resolution of the Troy City Council authorizing a change of traffic direction on Rensselaer Street between 6th Avenue and River Street. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 83 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 84.
Resolution of the Troy City Council authorizing a change of traffic direction on Washington Street between 5th Avenue and River Street. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I will make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. On the discussion, I heard no negatives on this proposal, and several folks actually said it was long overdue, including our city clerk. So further discussion, comments?
Council President?
Yes, Councilmember Zalusky.
Yes, I'll just say that, of course, this change affects my own district, and every resident in the district that has had feedback on this proposed change has been supportive of it. And I would ask the entire council to support this as well. I don't think there's any issue, but just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments, questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 84 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Lovely. Resolution 85, which was added this evening.
Resolution supporting and endorsing the city's application for a grant to fund construction of a geothermal utility system. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion?
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
second,
Second, Councilmember Steele. And as I mentioned, this did pass finance earlier this evening. Discussion, comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 85 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 86.
Resolution appointing Kimberly Ann Mazer to the Board of Assessment Review of the City of Troy. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Zalusky.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Steele.
No, it was Ash McPherson.
Thank you, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Zalusky. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 86 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 87, very controversial one.
Resolution appointing commissioners of deeds for the City of Troy. Council President Mantello.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 87 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 88.
A resolution to proclaim November 2021 as Epilepsy Awareness Month. Council President Mantello, Councilmember McDermott, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Zaluski, Councilmember Steele.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Cummings. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilmember Zaluski. I'd like to read, it's a short resolution. A resolution to proclaim November 2021 as Epilepsy Awareness Month. Whereas epilepsy is an incurable brain disorder that causes people to have recurring seizures. And whereas epilepsy is the third most common neurological condition, and whereas 1 in 26 people in the United States will develop epilepsy in his or her lifetime due to abnormal brain development, illness, brain injury, or unknown causes. And whereas widespread lack of understanding and knowledge about epilepsy often causes people, particularly children, to fear, isolate, tease, and even bully their peers who are afflicted with epilepsy or other seizure disorders. And whereas the city of Troy desires to join the global, national, state, and local effort to increase epilepsy awareness, to educate Troy residents about epilepsy, and to lend support to people with epilepsy and their families in order to improve their quality of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Troy City Council does hereby proclaim November 2021 as Epilepsy Awareness Month in the city of Troy. I want to thank my colleagues for joining me on this resolution. As you know, this clearly affects my family and my little boy. And it's not a daily challenge. It's a minute challenge. From minute to minute, you just don't know if your son's going to have a seizure. It certainly impacts our life. And you know, it has an impact on obviously my other son and our family as a whole. So I do hope that if you know someone that does have epilepsy, that you learn a little bit more about it. Some people are very intimidated by people with seizures. And I just want to say thank you for joining me on this resolution. It clearly is something I'm very passionate about to try to get the word out there. That there are so many people affected by this illness, and people you would be surprised who have had 1 or 2 seizures, been on meds their whole life. My son's on 4 different meds. He also has a VNS implanted, and you know, it's just something that obviously changes your life forever. But needless to say, he's a wonderful little boy, and I want to thank all of you for supporting this effort. Thank you.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
I do not know how I missed it, but I would also like to be a co-sponsor on this resolution.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully.
I will join it as well to make it unanimous.
Beautiful. Thank you. And, you know, this is the month of awareness. And, you know, if anyone's on Twitter, there's a really good Twitter feed with Epilepsy Foundation Northeast, and also some other folks, just to learn a little bit more about it and, you know, just try to be more sensitive to folks with epilepsy. So thank you again. Further questions, discussion, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 88 passes, 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Wonderful. I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Beautiful. Councilmember Zaluski is their second.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. I do want to forewarn you, don't be spoiled by this meeting. The next few are going to be long ones. I can honestly probably predict. So have a wonderful night, everyone. And thank you all for joining, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed. I want to talk more about the union budget.
Okay.
You're overridden.
Darn.
Motion carries, 6 ayes, 1 no.
And you can
Thank
yell
you.
foul.
See you all on Tuesday.
Violation.
And everybody.
Night.
Now you can't complain when I make